I'm forever 20 minutes late. I'm just like to the point where, but it's bullshit because then I'll say, well, why don't I just say my stream time is that time that's 20 minutes late? But then I'll be 20 minutes later than that. It's just like my inability to like get my shit together in the mornings, I think.
Well, that's why you gotta do like the starting soon for 10 to 20 minutes.
I do. I'm 20 minutes late beginning the starting soon. Yeah. And then it's a disgrace. But I guess people expect it now. They know I've got that Brazilian punctuality right there.
There you go. Obrigado.
Yeah, exactly. So how have you been going with being on time, meeting those stream times?
Pretty good this month. I'm kind of tweaking the schedule a little bit, or thinking about tweaking it. But yeah, just trying to hit the same schedule I set like way early last year. Here's a plug, everybody. Join the AudaxSmoke experience. Come be a member of the Audax folks. Starting at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Saturdays and Sundays, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Wednesday. It's radical. Think of the 90s. It's gross your older sister out.
Live on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, it's slime time.
Ren and Stimpy, bitch. Was that Nickelodeon?
God.
Was that Nickelodeon? Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
John K can go have a tree fall.
Sorry about that. I think I torpedoed the bit.
I don't think it was a good bit to begin with, but anyway. Just like for my own sake, hitting that 8 p.m. and 7 p.m. on the respective days, like that means a lot to me still. Yeah. Like I like that's a very conscious thing I need to have happen for me to sleep well at night.
Is that because you feel that you owe it to the viewers, the community, or you owe it to yourself, or a bit of both?
A bit of both. A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. For myself, kind of now that I've been doing it a while, it's like I just need to check in with myself and be like, you can do this, right? And I'll be like, yeah, I can do this. I literally have to tell myself, I can do this. I can do this. Like, I still have to do that. Like, it's not like this shit didn't ever get easier for me. Like,
how frequently?
It's more automatic, but it's like I'm still like an internal dialogue mess about it.
No, I get that. And I do I say you can do this? I think I say something along those lines, but it's only like when I'm really like, if I've underslept or if I'm feeling a bit under the weather, or if something's made me grumpy as fuck from the get-go, like just some bullshit happened off stream beforehand. I might have
trying to get that well of energy going.
Yeah, I'm just like, this is fine. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be okay, you know. I used to get that teaching though as well, because you got to bring a certain energy, right? You can't just go in and be like, oh, fuckheads, what do you want? You kind of have to bring a certain...
I hope you've done that at least one class.
I have not to the point of saying, oi, fuckheads, what do you want? But I've definitely done a more PG version of that, where I've just been like, look, guys, today I'm not really in the mood. Here's what we're going to do. Off you go. Like, I've kind of done those before, which is like not today. You over there, particular asshole in this class, don't give me a reason today. But no, I haven't, you know, I've tried to put on the facade for the most part.
No.
How frequently do you have that dialogue though, where you're like, you can do this? You don't mind me asking.
Pretty regularly. I'm not afraid to admit that. Like that's just where my brain is. Like, I don't know, I have anxiety and all the good shit. So it's kind of a necessity. Like it's you know, and I have help with that too. So it's working. I'm getting there. I'm getting on there. I'm beating the games. I'm having fun meeting and interacting with wonderful people. So
yeah, absolutely. And you know, since we've both spoken, we've both, you know, been steadily growing as consistent streamers tend to do. And it's been a year. By the way, congratulations, happy 1 year. I know it's been about a month since then, but GG's on getting through the first 12 months.
Yeah, of affiliate. That was fun. I didn't do like too big of like an anniversary stream, but I did do one. And like, some people, I've heard some people be like, "Oh, no, I'm not gonna do anything different for it," or it's like I'm not streaming on that day, or it just
Mm-mm-mm.
happened to line up where it was like part of my regular week, so it was just
Yep.
like, yeah, I might as well do this. I hit it. That was back in February, and it was fun. I just played like I didn't even play the stuff that were like I played during my affiliate. I played the stuff that like I originally played when I like started streaming back in 2016 and shit. So
I saw Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
yeah, yeah. So it's like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, Secret of Evermore, Star Fox. Those were like the 3 games I played through to completion, like back in the day, back when it was like my dad and Kamikaze Frost chilling and like a couple other buddies. And
I remember you saying last time we spoke on this that it was Secret of Evermore that was your first game that you streamed, actually. So
yeah,
that's a dope callback. That's really cool.
it's a good Secret of Evermore is a good game. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. All right.
Much maligned by scrubs and fools.
They don't know. They don't know. I feel like they don't know. I feel like there's a barrier of entry to the game a little bit, and just for its place in time, the engine was a little outdated because they were using the Secret of Mana or Seiken Densetsu 2 engine, when in Japan the Seiken Densetsu 3 engine was already out and they were rocking that.
Well, and this is coming from someone who has publicly said, young Dax, that Secret of Mana is one of your favorite games of all time. So
yeah, that's my second.
It's informed. It's an informed opinion. I feel really pointy and assertive today. Like, yeah, imaginary audience. Yeah, that's right.
Bring it. Let's go.
Yeah.
You deserve that, Wardo. You deserve that.
Yeah, dude. Happy 1 year, and it's interesting. You saying that you still have this sort of you can do it thing that comes in, and I think I imagine that is the case for even really big streamers a few years in. Like
Definitely.
I think it's a human condition to an extent, right? I'm sure like different people have it more severely, less frequently, more often, or whatever. There's like variants, I'm sure, but that kind of imposter syndrome that people apparently everyone suffers it, right? Like, oh, I'm not a real streamer. Like, mine used to be like, well, when I get affiliate, then I'll kind of feel like a real streamer. And then I got affiliate. I'm like, well, when I get X amount of viewers, when I get like 100 followers, then I'll be a real streamer. And then when I get there, I keep pushing the boundary, and I still like, it's just like this never ending sort of thing. Like, well, one day I'll be a real streamer.
Yeah.
But
no, I definitely don't have imposter syndrome as bad as some people have it. It can be crippling to a lot of people, unfortunately. And just like, as a friend to those people, you just gotta keep supporting them and just letting them know, like, if you see them doubting themselves, like, so it's like, I kind of just deal with it on my own and where I can, and just like, I don't know. I'm used to like being willing to approach myself and kind of be like my own self therapist and like kind of challenge myself and like maybe get a little too aggressive toward myself, and I could probably go easier on myself, and always working on trying to be kinder to myself. But like, yeah, it's just been really important to try and keep motivating yourself in a way, and admitting when you're having a hard time, or like when you're feeling burnt out or whatever, and then just taking the time to honor yourself after that. That's like a technique. I had a buddy tell me, he was like, it's the admit to yourself and then honor yourself technique. It's like
admit to yourself and then honor yourself technique.
Yeah,
do tell.
It's like, yeah, if you can't hit the stream, it's like because you're too depressed, or you're anxious, or you have mood swings, or the day was just shitty, or you woke up, slept like shit, or whatever. It's just like, instead of being so frustrated with yourself that, like, I don't know, you maybe unhealthily push through, that you just kind of you take the time to be like, this does suck. This does suck, but it's only a moment in time. What can I do to get through it? Kind of, you can honor yourself by improving. You can honor yourself by relaxing. You can honor yourself by fucking watching a good show. I don't know, but
Totally. No, I
it's
get
a
what you're saying.
balance kind of thing, right?
I get what you're saying. It's I've been at it for quite a while now also, and I've experienced the ups and downs because it doesn't have the same, compared to a regular job or a regular hobby, wherever it falls for people, or an extracurricular or whatever it is for people. There are some, I think sometimes the result of a, like, oh, you know, how a stream went in terms of like how many people showed up, or like how many people were active in chat, or you know, how fun it was even for you, or how much you think you enjoyed it, or how much you think other people enjoyed it, does not always correlate, I think, to the effort that you put in necessarily.
Yeah.
I think long term it does. It's one of those things where, like, you know, like a thing like poker or magic, for example, where, you know, if you do the right habits, sometimes you still just lose. Like you can be a great player who makes the right decision every time, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. You get fucking land screwed or whatever. But over time, those habits are important, and they will lead to success or to growth or whatever it is you're trying to achieve. And I think that's something that I've kind of noticed, is that I've sometimes felt a frustration where I've thought that, like, the effort that I've put into a particular thing, be it a new, I don't know, overlay, a new feature, a new game, something I've hyped, etc., doesn't correlate with the results that I can kind of quantify from numbers or a feeling or something like that, and I get frustrated. But then it's like, that's just not how it works. It's not an instant put in X amount, get X out machine. It's there's variables to it, and sometimes it's hard when you don't see that shit. And I don't know if that's exactly what you're talking about, but that's something that I've experienced.
Yeah, to a degree. You just wonder, do people even want to watch this or me or whatever? And it just gets really existential. And if you don't have that concrete info to like kind of point toward, you're just like, and then that's when it's important though to like turn it back around and just make it for yourself again in a way.
And remember that the reason, like, we chose to do this thing, right? Like, this is not the easiest thing to do, but
we are people who with a type of work ethic that chose to do this thing, which is is like, a lot of people like dabble in streaming, and that's great. Please keep dabbling, get
shout outs to the dabblers, man. Dabblers are dope.
Hell yeah, dabbler.
I'm a dabbler.
I'm the dabbler, you're the dabbler.
I'm a dabbler in many other things, all kinds of dabbling. Sorry, continue.
It's okay to collect stuff, to want to do things in the future. Like, that's okay. But it's something. That's what I had kind of like placed in front of me, is this, like, the only reason I've been able to do this as long as it happened is because there's apparently a type of work ethic in me. And I don't know whether I learned it from getting up and going, doing shitty physical manual labor, and like getting myself to push through that. Like, getting behind the computer is easier for me than I know a lot of other people it is sometimes. So I try not to take that for granted, but it's like I can get there on time. I can do the thing. I can sit there. Like, I've been playing with my hours a lot more, with just trying to be healthier, because something I concluded is like, it's like sitting on stream for 8 hours is like, the idea is like you're trying to match like a work day, right? But the thing is, we think about streaming and do things for the stream, put in effort that we hope will show results or stuff like that before the on-screen time. Like, we need to consider the hour or two that we're spending mental energy before sitting there for hours on end as well. And that's something where my health preservation, I've really tried to take that into consideration, because I start prepping for my stream at least an hour beforehand. I'm shuffling around and thinking, and I'm trying to get my mood up, and trying to like so it's like, why should I stream for 8 hours when I did that 9th hour, and when I already did that extra hour? Of course, sometimes the situation just, you want to keep flowing with a game. People are great. Something just wants to keep you there. I've done up to 13-hour streams. I don't think it was ever healthy. But
anything past 10 probably isn't, to be honest, but I've done it.
well, I have this old list of notes from like I very first started streaming, like stream observations, notes for improvement, whatever. And one of these old things I went back and saw was like, don't stream over 7.5 hours. I was like, that kind of makes sense. Like if you're doing the half hour of prep anyways, hour to half hour.
True.
And so now I've kind of dialed back my hours. I'm like if I do 6, I'm very happy.
Yeah.
If I'm a little tired before 6, I'm like, well, I stressed out about it for an hour or two beforehand anyways. So the top of the 5 I just did, that's 7. But also these numbers and hours don't make you, like, people will have different results with different amounts of hours. I'm just used to coming from that work ethic of you go work 8 hours a day at the job site, and
no, absolutely.
So
and that's, you know, that points out something that I actually really, one of the things I love about this, right, is what you say when you said it might not be for everybody this hours, that's the schedule that works for you, right? And
that's very particularly designed for me, Alan, Audax, whoever. So.
And that's the beauty, though, right? Is that you can sort of craft these channels, and the schedule is just one element of it. You know, obviously the vibe and the design and the games you play and the persona you bring and so on and so forth. It's so wonderful how you can personalize it, even down to something like hours and how people operate best. Like, I've slowly figured out this situation where, and I've been cutting back a little bit, but I'm actually spending more time behind the scenes. So like my time spent is as much as ever, but I'm just changing how I allocate my time a little bit. I've gotten into this situation where I kind of do 2 to 3 like 5-6 hour streams, and then one like 10-hour stream at the end of the week, like a big. Like my weekend one is.
I've been hearing about the longer ones. So.
I do them every week, but only on the weekend, where I sort of start with it. Like starts with whatever I'm playing, and then it ends with like 4 hours of me drinking and playing GeoGuessr and making a fool of myself. And that's kind of
hell yeah.
That kind of works for me because that's like the way I want. Like that does at that point it never feels like work, and it's just pure fun. Like and like I don't even care anymore at that point, and it's a party at the end of the
time is relevant. Time is not my master, by the way.
yo time,
it's important to remind yourself of that.
Man, time though, I used to freak out about time when I was a kid. That was some shit. I was a bit of a weird kid. Like fuck man, it's hard to explain. It's really hard to explain, but let me try. I remember specifically. I was probably I was in the 3rd grade, so I would have been like 9 years old or something like that. And I remember being in my bedroom, and I remember I had this fucking Megazord from Power Rangers, this big fucking this motherfucking Megazord, and I was like, playing around with that and Power Rangers and shout outs to the Power Rangers, by the way.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
It was OG Super Sentai too.
Man, fucking, and that shit was hype, man. Remember when the Green Ranger turned into the White Ranger, but it was actually just the Green Ranger? Oh man, I could don't get me started. But anyway,
that dude was like a real MMA fighter.
Yeah, he was too, wasn't he? Because the rest were just like C-grade actors.
Yeah.
And one of them died in a car accident, which kind of sucks. The Yellow Ranger, she passed, man. That sucks. R.I.P. She was dope. But fucking, I'm in my room. And something just happens to me where like I have this weird thought in my head where I'm like started counting seconds passing, and I started freaking out, and I felt like time slowed down, and I had this like freak out where I had to, like, my mum came, what's wrong as I'm freaking out, like, and I felt like a second took like a minute, and like I just like started like watching a clock, and I started like time kind of dissolved for me or something like that. I know this sounds really weird. I was like 9-year-old boy.
This is heavy for a 9-year-old.
I know, and
that Megazord.
This is why I am the way I am now, because of that moment as a 9-year-old. And yeah, time's always been weird for me. I don't know if I explained that at all. I probably thought it took 1 minute, but I've been speaking for an hour. Who knows? Compared to other jobs, right? Or other endeavors, even, let's say. How significant as a streamer is one's mental state?
It's key. It's number one. I mean, you don't have to, like, literally physical state is not like, well, it is a manner because like I'm literally finally getting a new chair. I'm sitting very still so this thing doesn't creak on the stream. Can we see if we can get some Foley real fast?
Yeah. Damn. I think mine does that a little bit, but not as bad. Let me try now.
Give me a little bit.
Do you get that?
Little bit.
It's not as loud though. It's not as loud.
A little bit. So if there is physical aspect to sitting in the same chair for hours streaming, please stand up, move around, all that shit.
For sure.
But yeah, it's like 100% mental for me. Like going back to just having to like psych myself up and remind myself like I can even like do it. Some days it's just like, can I even like sit there and hit the buttons? Can my brain talk to my hands?
Yeah,
is like some of those days.
Yeah,
it's just like, because it's like, especially with the high input intensity games, like some of those days when I was grinding on like Sekiro Boss Rush or the Bloodborne shit, or it's just your brain just does not talk to your hands. I have betrayal hands. I will hit the wrong button just because my hand did it, and I'm just like, well, I don't know. I've hit the wrong button on streams before with no rhyme or reason.
I do it off stream. Fucking, I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't think any of us do, which is the beautiful thing, because we're getting here together now and sort of poking at that. But yeah, the mental game is 100%. Preserve your mental game. Yeah. It's okay to, like I said, like try the admit and honor yourself technique if you're feeling burnout or anything like that. Like we want to prevent that or shorten it if it does happen, right?
I have this really nice little burnout carrot that's going on right now for me. That's kind of like, I don't know, I think it's kind of quelling burnout, but also making me more aware of like when it happens to embrace it. So my mate recently moved to New South Wales, to a small place in New South Wales, probably about a 2-hour flight from here. Or like a 12-hour drive or something like that. And so in Australia terms, next door basically. And he's got a bunch of stuff up there near the beach, great pad, lifestyle's cool, it's beautiful. He's got a paddock with fucking horses and shit next to him, and it's very relaxing. And he's just said, dude, when you need a fucking like 4 or 5 days, just let me know, fly up, stay here for free. I just have to pay for the flights, which is not that much. Stay here for free, and I'll take some time off work, and we'll just fucking go. We'll get in the van, we'll go to the fucking beach, we'll do this, we'll drive to fucking here and there. And like having that,
sounds like a dream.
It does, doesn't it? Like knowing that I can at some point say, all right, I'm done with this for fucking 5 days. I'm done. I'm shutting everything off for 5 days so I can like realign my shit, because you know how it gets sometimes. Really has made me more conscious of like being a little bit tilted but still being fine. It's like now it's like I'll know when it's time to get that ticket, and that's like this really nice kind of thing in the back of my mind that I've got right now that keeps me going.
Good, because no one wants to admit they're like burnt out.
Yeah,
if someone's at the point where they're admitting they're burnt out, they've probably been burnt out.
We should probably,
and they've just been pushing it aside, and like now it's just finally bubbled to the surface enough for people to admit it. So
yeah, no, I think you can be in denial of that for sure. I feel like we should probably backtrack a little bit and talk about, why do you think people do get burnt out with streaming on Twitch? What causes this?
Yeah, just the kind of people don't like to admit it, but people have expectations. People, either they're not seeing results, they might be in their own heads. Shit might just be going on behind the scenes at home with family or something like that. That'll burn a person out. Trying to do what they want to do and what they know they can do and what their dream is, and and they can't. So it's like, it's not always the streaming itself that burns them out, but it could be, as far as what streaming can do is like, yeah, it's because you gotta look at yourself a lot. Like you whether you go back and look at your own streams or not, it's like you're still sitting with yourself in your room and hearing your own self talk aloud. Like you have to face yourself to be able to sit there and have stream of consciousness or topics or conversation or whatever.
Yeah.
Like and that not maybe not everyone's prepared to do that. I know I'm not prepared to fucking be with myself all the goddamn time. Like, shit. So that I would imagine that does it for other people too.
Totally.
But we're all different. Strict schedule keeping, like trying to be loose, like, yeah, I can take a day off, it's like blah blah blah. It's as long as your living state allows that, and sometimes it's the end of the month and you're just like, I just feel like I should keep going just in case, and it's like, so
yeah,
sometimes you don't get the luxury to, but
there's so many things excuse me, there's so many things about this kind of exciting but also high risk, low success rate if you talk about financial success business, where like honestly like less than 1% really make it, and of all people that do it. And there's something about that forces you to be faced with your weaknesses, forces you to be faced with your inadequacies or things that you might feel inadequate about. Maybe they're not actually inadequacies. It also forces you to be critical of yourself. Like you have to sometimes look at things and go, that wasn't good because X, Y, Z. And forces you, sometimes you have to look up. I've had to look up at people who are more successful than me and go, well, why? And there's that temptation, because we're human beings, there's that temptation to say, oh, because they're smarter than me, because
comparison,
they're more charismatic than me, because they're just better than me. And you kind of it sounds like I'm making fun, but I sometimes fall into those traps as well. And
definitely, I know I do. So.
That's a really even when you're being kind of mature about it, and you have a high social intelligence and self-awareness, and you're able to compartmentalize that shit and realize how to do it in a healthy way, still the pressure of always having to think in that type of mind frame can take a toll on one's mental state, I think, after a while.
Yeah. It's good to see what you've done and what works. It's focused more on what you can control rather than, looking to what. I mean, it's important. If you want to get something done, research how to get it done and who's gotten it done, or, like that's good too. But going through failing is a great way to learn. And it's like, I feel like we hardly experience like genuine failures ever. It's a lot of that's in the mental game a lot of the time for us as streamers.
Absolutely.
It's like just being willing to improve, and just looking at yourself, like it's like, was I oversensitive here, or what, did I say something insensitive here? Like that's good to do. That's like, I don't know, improvement is going to be key for us to like keep going, and consistency. Like I feel like that's key to any good work ethic though, is willingness to improve. And just hardly anyone ever starts as a boss. Someone's going to tell you either in a nice way or a not nice way whether you did something correctly or not. So it's like it's being able to do that for yourself is absolutely amazing, but you have to do that for yourself.
That's exactly it, dude. You have to. And I think we don't. It's not always fun, right? Like
no.
It's
definitely not fun forcing myself to stream when I don't feel like streaming, and so it's like.
And being your own boss, and being that person that otherwise you could externalize and say, fuck them, they're always on my fucking case because X, Y, Z. But the reality is sometimes we need that shit, like maybe we don't need to be assholes to ourselves about it. Maybe we can be compassionate, but
And that's something I have a hard time is I go too hard on myself.
Yeah.
And when I say it's like it's not fun to force myself to stream, usually I end up having fun with the stream.
Oh,
Thankfully,
totally,
it
totally.
becomes this fucking safe, just familiar thing. I do really good with familiar things, and I'm luckily I've made streaming a familiar thing, and it's just like that usually always turns it around. But
Yep.
like I've had my I'm crummy on streams and
Mm-hmm,
no fun allowed streams, and it's just like not my proudest moments, but it's
oh man, we've all had them. We've all had them.
it's one day at a time is a really important approach to kind of it's realizing you get to try again.
I think I just want to take a step back again, a step back from our step back, and just say, like, it might seem like the way we're talking to anyone listening, it might seem like we're going, fuck streaming so hard, fuck streaming sucks. The reality is streaming's awesome. It's awesome. And it's so fucking cool that people like myself, and I feel like you too, Dax, it came out a bit smarmy, didn't it? Let me try that again. It's awesome. It's awesome. And people like us, well, myself, and I'm sure you too, love it. And so that's why we want to do well at it. And that's why, because we want to be able to keep doing it, right? And
well, that's what I'm so eager to show is how fucking human I am. Like I really appreciate the opportunity to use whatever creativity mixed with attempts at charisma I can blend up and make that try like put that out there in case it can mean something to someone.
Yeah.
That's like always been an important thing to me is like create the art just in case, or create the thing just in case it helps someone or mean something. That was a lot of my music. I tried really hard to just like, whether this only helps me, then that's great. But if there's a chance it could fucking help someone else, like that's more than, you know, like having any, you know, success with it or like making something of it. It's just like if someone gives you your ear time and then you can make them feel something or feel like okay with something or themselves or something like that, that's really important. So with streaming, being able to do that is good too, and I really appreciate that opportunity. But we are very human. We are very tired humans, but we will keep going. Yeah, we have weird sources of energy that our brains have conjured because
you goddamn right.
Like I said, we have this work ethic. We have this. I don't know. That's something where I feel like we really clicked as well. Is that we both have this drive to keep going and do something with this, and at least do something that we were proud of with what we're doing.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're still doing it shows, like, you know, I'm proud of my streams. I'm really grateful that anyone watches. And
me too. Like, you know, sometimes I have to take a step back and look at the end of just sometimes it happens to me in the middle of a stream where I'm like, damn, there's like however many people there in chat. I look back to when I started and I just wanted someone to come in and say hi, you know, like I was just, you know, I was one of those when I started because I kind of did it little ninja style, and I didn't really make a big noise about it with my friends and family. I just started doing it, and that's just kind of how I am sometimes. But I remember how excited I was. I had this my first Morrowind stream way back when, and I remember I had like 5 follows or 5 or 6 follows, and I had like 6 concurrent viewers, and I was fucking over the moon. I was so stoked. I was so stoked, and I was so happy that I'd found people that liked this thing, that wanted to hang out. And, you know, from there, some of the, you know, through that game, I met a lot of people who are still on the channel. And, but I just sometimes have to remind myself, like, you know, you constantly shift your sort of focus and your definition of what equals a good, what constitutes good or what constitutes growth. And it's like, no, this is cool. Like, this is cool that we've gotten to this point. And
definitely,
dude, goals. Let's talk about goals for a minute. It's kind of related.
Okay.
Do you set goals for yourself? He says, popping a
kind
beer.
of the goal. Yeah. Hey, cheers to that. The goal is to get all of the Twitch cannabis related ads played on my channel.
Let's
I
fucking
had someone
go.
come in and tell me I saw an ad that was cannabis related. I have been scared so long about smoking on stream. I've had people tell me, "Don't do that. Do it off stream." And I used to fade my camera out and cloud check off stream and come fade the camera back and both cloud. I'd be like, I'm cheeky, aren't I?" And now apparently they're running cannabis ads on my stream.
Well, you're in California, man. It's just like having a beer. Like you're in California. Who gives a fuck? It's legal, man.
Yeah, I've been living in the gray market my entire life, so it's still old habits die hard. Yeah. But cheers, brother.
Cheers, man. Well, my goal.
As far as actual goals, that's definitely not it. But go ahead.
My goal is to have only pregnancy tests as my ads.
Have you had a frequency of those?
No, I'm just talking shit. But do you set goals?
Kind of like this week I set the goal of I was going to hit every start time.
Yeah, dope.
Because I wanted to feel like I'm really doing the streaming. Like, I mean, I've been hitting the last 2 weeks, but it's just like, I don't know, every week you're wondering like, do I need to take like a day off? Like, you're wondering kind of, at least as a person, like, I really like encourage people starting out, definitely stream as much as possible and throw it at the walls and then design a schedule from there. But I know my schedule now. Grandma Audax needs to pace themselves, and so but I wanted, so this week I was like, no pacing. I need to hit every start time. Of course I did shorter streams, but I was like, I need to feel the experience of streaming for the content talk. But generally, like, I just my goal is kind of tied to that. Yeah, again, that just staying consistent is like, there's certain things where it's like, yeah, I'd like to get new artwork made. I still wonder about lighting. I still wonder about stuff. But as far as the only goal I had was I'm getting the new chair, like I mentioned. Dope. Like, that is
kind of chair you're getting.
God.
Do you know?
Office chair. It's just a fancy office chair. Yeah. I was very torn about getting the race car. Porto, it fell.
Fuck! What I have to deal with, man.
This better stay in the episode, everybody. I hope this stays in.
What I'm talking about. It's hell over here. Alright, sorry about that. Tell us more about this, about the chair.
I think we need to stop talking about goals and start talking about ghosts, though.
Oh, poltergeist up in here.
Yes. But yeah, so my goals are kind of, you know, I've given up on the I need this many followers, or like I'm not, like, I gave up on goal bars a long time ago. Unless like I was trying to do certain, I guess, donation goals. Maybe I'll throw that up in the future, but I'm not. So it's because that's what you start thinking of when you think goals in relation to streaming. You're like, the goal bar.
Yeah.
I'm just like, nah. I think I mentioned that in the last episode, was when I was finally moving on from it. So as far as like obviously I want it to be bigger. I want to be able to pay more bills with it is my goals, really, honestly. The electricity bill is like, I'm covering that now. It's blowing my fucking mind. Thank you everybody so much for letting me
that's dope.
Get through. So I've met actual goals. It's just like it's like I put my eggs in this basket, so it's like I should set more goals is the thing. Do you get Porto? What goals should I be setting?
Well, mine is more of a cautionary tale of what not to do. So this is, I don't know if I've told anyone this. No, I'm not sure. But so
exclusive content.
Exclusive. It's like, did you ever listen to those mixtapes where it'd always be like exclusive every like, you know, like in mixtapes they always have like that same soundbite every 2 songs.
Yeah,
exclusive.
Yeah.
Damn, son, where'd you find that? So no, I on my whiteboard about 5 months ago, I set goals for 3 months in the future from that time.
Mm.
And I learned a lot from this goal setting thing. I learned that I was setting the wrong kind of goals. And I'll never do it again. So I had a
What goals do we not set?
Essentially things that are out of your control. You know, I was trying to set these quantifiable, measurable, statistic, analytic based goals that I thought I could reach if things grew at a good rate. So I had reach X followers, have X average viewers or better for this month, try and get this many YouTube subs, try and get this many views on the month, you know, all those kind of things. I think I had 7 things. And I think in the end I got 3 or 4 of the 7. So I found myself being disappointed. But I've
the ratio of these ideas and goals you wrote down. You're like, oh.
Well, and they're also things that I have no control over. Like, it was stupid for me to set those goals because the goals that I should be setting is put in this many hours, learn this many skills, do these things. You know, like all my goals were these things that I had no fucking control over, and it was. You're setting yourself up for failure there, you know, like
the lofty goals.
Yeah, well, the lofty goals. Whereas what goals I have now are like things that I should be doing, like tasks that I should be improving, using to improve the stream, or things that I should be implementing, or skills that I should be learning, or as much as going out and exercising, so I feel fucking a little more mentally on the ball, and all these kind of things.
Yeah.
And so. That was a really big lesson for me. And so I like to speak with people about that because I feel like I should have learned that earlier in my life. but yeah, that was a lesson in like set goals that you have the power to achieve.
Yeah.
You know?
Control the variables that you can like concrete like touch your hands on in a way. And but it's I mean, we all catch a case of like blind ambition though. It's like you had to learn that. Like, this isn't something like, and it sucks because it feels so much better going into something you already know how to do or know how to approach. Like, I'm the type of person who I like reading the player's guide before playing the game. Like, that's fun to me.
Yeah,
I want to see the game. I'm not trying to bang my head against a wall. You know? But it's so it's like, I don't think there's, you know, anything wrong with setting the wrong goals as long as you don't continue to set them.
Right. Well, and also the you know, if you look at these goals, it's like if I say, well, I didn't reach, I can't even remember which one. I didn't reach X goal, and then the narrative in my head would go, that's because I failed. It's like, no, you didn't fail in achieving that goal. You failed in recognizing what goals you should set. You can't like, I can't say that I can't make a goal to say that I'll be the fastest 100-meter sprinter in the world in a year. Like, you can't fucking do that because
you got some steroids to slam in those calves, boy.
Even if I was going to get jacked and all this shit, I can't control what other motherfuckers are doing, you know? Like, but you can set a goal of, I'm going to beat my PB.
Yeah, PBs are great.
PBs are fucking great, you know? So yeah, I don't know. That's just something I felt that I wanted to like share because I feel like it's one of the more significant lessons I've learnt about myself and something I was doing wrong. And I think it's
good looking out.
Useful advice for the people.
At least be open to the fact you might be setting the wrong goals. If it doesn't feel like it's working, like you know.
Yeah.
But definitely don't like shame yourself for setting that wrong goal or like fucking, you know, having your focus where you realize you could have had it elsewhere. It's like, nah, it's all process.
It is a process. And that leads me to something I've been wanting to ask you as well that sort of relates to the 1 year, or you've probably been about 14, 15 months now, which is...
I feel like we're talking about a baby.
Yes, you've been in the womb for 14, 15 months. You're
I'm still cooking.
It's warm in there. So how would you say you as a person and as a streamer? Let's make this a multifaceted, convoluted question. Audax, Alan, Dax, Smoke, as a person and as a streamer, how are you different now than the person, let's say, on your first affiliate stream around that time?
I'm pretty proud to say I'm still sort of the same neurotic mess, but I'm just having built up that year of like confidence that I'm going to keep doing it. It's having my endurance checked many times has been. It's like I just feel more confident in, and then in the quality of my streams. It's just like it's not like crazy different, but it's just in my attitude that I bring to the streams. You know, I say earlier like I have to push myself to get to my streams, but it's like I'm pushing myself to get to a good place, which is a healthy thing in general for my life.
Yeah.
The regularity, I do good with just familiar things. That's been really important for me. You know, I get up every day, I exercise, I eat, I take a shower. That's my routine. I have to get that done before I stream.
Great.
And like it's just that, like, that's the streaming has given me a reason to keep that just initial like basic health and self-care routine like alone. So it's like the exercise, okay, is going to help me endure sitting in the chair. The eating, I just have to do that for the mental health. My first meal I try to make really healthy. Then I turn into a human garbage disposal throughout the day. Right? Or I don't eat irresponsibly. But I always get that first hyper healthy homegrown garden kale shake nonsense in me every day.
You're such a Californian with your home.
I'm a Northern California organic baby boy.
Yeah.
And then the shower is just something personally I went through where I recognize, you know, not everyone has the means to take a shower every day. Not everyone has the mental capacity to take a shower every day. So it's something for me. It's something where it's like I check in with myself, fucking get a minute to yell at myself for wasting water and propane, or hum something. I'm a known shower doodler. You gotta warble sometimes.
You're a known hummer in the shower.
Yeah, I will do my days away in the shower and then be like, oh fuck, I've wasted 10 minutes of water. I'm the worst person in existence.
All of my good ideas come to me either in the shower or while running. Every good idea I've ever had, wow, this is an aggressive statement. Every good idea I've ever had has come to me in the shower or running. For real, though.
Well, it's two things that are running. The running water and then the running feet.
Yeah, I love it.
It's poetic.
It's beautiful, man. It's movement. It's the fluidity of life.
You got to keep the energy moving. You can't deal with the static energy. So I think that's probably what helps a lot. Is just you're kinetically just moving the energy of life and your physical being, and then in the shower you're under movement in a way. So that's, I don't know, that's kind of like this like Eastern approach I dealt with during like therapy, is like just not letting things get static. Like that's like, you know, that's what depression wants from you. It's like always keep something moving or be near something that's moving. I feel like that's why music like always was like a real security blanket, because having that movement in your ears, in a way, like that kept my brain wanting to look for answers or endure or to find happiness and joy. So definitely the movement will help the ideas. Man, keep the ideas moving.
It really does, dude. Like, fuck, man. And sometimes they're not the right kind of ideas. Like sometimes they're just ideas about ideas. Like I was running. It was a couple months back, and I just had this. I'm not a student of the Bible. I'm not. I didn't have like a strict Christian upbringing. My mother went to Catholic school, and they had a Catholic background, but she's an atheist. She's not really into that. So I don't really know why exactly, but I had this as I'd completed my run. As I was walking back home, I suddenly had this revelation about the Bible, was like, man, I'm pretty sure, and this is what I started thinking. I'm like, I'm pretty sure the devil is just a metaphor for death. And like I started like having all these like ideas just exploding in my head. And I needed to like phone someone and tell them like I figured it out. I figured out the Bible. I wasn't reading the Bible. It just came to me like shit just comes to me when I'm running, man. And
the runner's high.
Oh, it's so good, so good. There's this great novella by Murakami. Do you know Murakami? He wrote like he's the Japanese novelist. He wrote like Kafka on the Shore and the Wind Up Bird Chronicle. He writes these like real magic realism kind of novels that are, you know, you have this like this combination of the mundane through like these long descriptions about someone preparing eel for dinner and you know, just very mundane everyday shit with then suddenly like a cat. They follow a cat down the road and go into a construction site where they enter a parallel universe, and you know, and then shit gets weird, and then they go back to the mundane, and you know, it's this. But he has this this novella where he writes about more biographical. Where he writes about running. I think it's called What I Talk About When I Talk About Running, and he's experienced running marathons, and like what it does to a fucking mind. And I've become kind of like fascinated with that shit, like enduring the endurance and just getting into a rhythm, like listening to your breaths and all that kind of shit. And I don't know how I got onto this.
Well, no, like the breathing that like physical activity like induces and helps you learn to control is key. Like, because you control your parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems, you know, your anxiety and through breathing. So by getting once you can eliminate the task of like breathing and that and like the necessity of breathing, like whether through exercises or breathing exercises or exercises, then your brain can, you know, focus on other things. It's kind of like when I get sick, like I don't like to eat a lot, so it's like I don't want my body like focus on digesting. I want my body to focus on fighting off the bug. I feel like that's common for a lot of people. It's like, oh, cut down to crackers and soup or whatever. Like I feel like that makes sense. It's like let your body focus on one thing at a time. So by learning to apply your breathing to literally eliminate like certain panics or anxieties, or just it helps you tap into like some you know, other things, either whether for creativity or for just thinking. It's there's something to that. So having that agency over your mind and your body, it's like, yeah, look for any little thing you can do. Like that's important to feel like it might help you feel comfortable in your body. Like, I don't know, keep just learning about yourself. Like I was looking for some other way to say that. I didn't want to say it that way.
No, but it's true, man. It's fascinating how much, you know, I think of the lessons I've learned about myself through doing this thing, and here I was.
I want to hear what you learned about yourself.
Well, the first one was that I you know, goal management, that type of shit, and then you know, like you, I mean, I'll just throw a few out as examples. Like you, I'm too hard on myself.
Facing that one is tough.
Yep, have a tendency to compare myself to others via metrics that don't matter. But I'm also, just between you and I, hopefully no one's listening, I'm also like, I have a pretty strong ego, and that can be good sometimes.
Yes.
But also that can get a little ugly sometimes in some of my thoughts about like where I feel that I stand, where I should belong in the Twitchverse, you know, and I sometimes,
you belong at the top, baby.
Well, you know, yeah, you know, but but you know what I mean? Like there's some things like I don't know so much that I've learned any like definitive lessons about myself, more that I've just fleshed out areas of myself that I need to keep in check.
That's a good way to put it. Is it's the improvements at this point. It's, you know, it's good to learning how to keep up those improvements or change those improvements, or that's another thing. So
Yeah, and
I
being
like everything I'm hearing though. I'm loving this.
yeah, just being aware of tendencies and you know it like
Awareness is I feel like the ego thing is good, and I almost kind of brought that up earlier where it's like you got to have, like I was mentioning the work ethic, but it's like you got to be able to believe in yourself too.
yes.
It's you know, you got to, and I find the easiest way is like it's like I gotta remind myself I can make other people laugh, but one of the easiest ways to do that is to make myself laugh, and it's just like but it's that you need that awareness of the ego at the same time. You may need a little bit of the ego, but you need to be aware of it and be aware when it's poking you and making you think certain ways or whatever. Like it's so I think you need a little bit, but if your ego is going to run rampant if you're in a state of like emotional unintelligence.
Yes. Yes.
That's something I deal with a lot, where I feel like that's where my imposter syndrome comes from, and my ego runs wild is when I'm in states of emotional unintelligence, and whether that's, you know, from my bipolar type 2 conditions at times, or just because of, I don't know, it's you got to be aware that they can kind of team up and run off from you. So
Yeah. Yeah. Like
it's a
that's
double-edged sword is the easiest way to kind of wrap all that up.
no, that's a really good way to put it as well. I think sometimes your greatest strengths unchecked can be your greatest weaknesses, and vice versa, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, for example, and I'm not going to say anyone's name, but we'll just imagine an imaginary streamer. Sometimes vulnerability, you know, we often view vulnerability as maybe a weakness, but vulnerability can be a strength.
Yes.
Because vulnerability humanizes you, and vulnerability makes you relatable, and people can feel compassion and not sympathy, but empathy, and
Yeah.
and so I think all of these things have a sort of duality, right?
Yes. No, that's really important to me, is to, yeah, just to because vulnerability does not mean you're weak. Like
No.
it's that's kind of like falls into the stereotypical like kind of masculinity approach of things. It's like
Mm.
vulnerability is hard to display. It is it is someone has already been so strong for a long time that it's now the endurance and they like, and even and holding something in doesn't make you strong either. Like I don't want to
No,
being
that makes
vulnerable
you
is
British
good.
Anglo. Holding something in makes you British Anglo.
That's what a lack of light will do to you. I don't think it's weakness. I view it, I'm farthest from that. Like again, being able to, there's a lot of people out there just holding something in, and to see another human like just display a compassion or an understanding or like people really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And
Oh man.
it's not always easy. It's like, yeah, you question always all the time, like what parts of myself do I share? And I'm really grateful that I got to the point where I'm like I'm okay with being an open book. I'm okay with, you know, whatever. So it's I wish other people could feel that comfort and that acceptance of themselves. So
Mm. Yeah, and it's a hard thing to come to, and it's do you think it's easier streaming to show that side than in real life, or is it something that comes naturally to you in all facets of life?
both. I would definitely say both. Like yeah, I mean, because it's like I live in like a small, like kind of like nowhere like town. Like it's a good here. It's a retirement community, but it's a little hicky and stuff. And it's just I've literally actually I would love to actually discuss about this. I've learned a lot more about like my own like sexuality and kind of like
Mm.
where I'm at. Just like through streaming, and I've been able to meet a lot more people because I'm, for anyone who cares, I'm pansexual or gray pansexual. There's this spectrum of sexuality. I know
Mm.
not a lot of people are interested in that, but and just for my style, it's like I don't really like put that at the front. I've been wrestling with this a lot lately, and I feel bad that I've been wrestling with it, but it's like I kind of want to put like the LBGTQ tag on my streams.
Mm.
And like I've been really like, because it's like very obviously a safe place for that, and it's just like don't, And so I feel like I very come off as like maybe like a stereotypical like heterosexual straight like male. But it's like no, I'm like I go between like asexuality and pansexuality, where it's just like I don't care. Gender doesn't really mean a lot to me. I can love anyone. But a lot of times I'm just like, I don't want to deal with other humans. That's where the gray asexuality comes in, where it's just like sometimes I don't want to deal. For me, it's very similar to my mood swings, where it's like sometimes I'm extroverted and high energy. Sometimes I'm depressive. Sometimes I don't want. I think humans are gross. Sometimes I want all the cuddles and all the genitalia. Bring it on. I just want love. Streaming has allowed me to be able to embrace that side of myself more and be more like I'm not a flamboyant person. Like I'm not like I just am who I am. Like and sharing that and understanding that more just through seeing other people feel comfortable and safe and knowing like I really like feeling it's definitely helped me feel more like myself.
That's
because being in a small kind of hicky town, it's just like for me it's been easy to present like I just don't fuck, I just don't, I'm asexual, blah blah blah, but it's like secretly I do, I love it, I want love, I want romance, I want all that. Who doesn't? I mean, and if you don't, that's fine too. You're a wonderful human being. But so definitely streaming has allowed me to embrace that more and feel more comfortable about that. And by fostering a safe community for that has been super important to me and paramount for me. And like I just like, but it's just like it's the same. Like I've always been like a low key goth kid, but I just don't wear. I mean, I wear all black from time to time, but it's just like I've never been like. I don't know. It's we all choose very certain parts of our pillars of identity to share with people, and I feel like streaming is a wonderful thing for people maybe who living in areas where it's not as like you maybe not feel as safe or comfortable about that. You can find communities or develop your own community where that is safe, and it's just like I don't know. That's been super important for me.
Well, that is a wonderful thing because, originally the narrative was if you were not the predominant type of human, and that might be in regards to sexuality, it might be in regards to just taste and style, it might be in regards to anything, like the way you present yourself, might go to belief systems, values, and so on and so forth. The old narrative, as we know, was move to the city. Get the fuck out of the shithole town because they're gonna fucking be bigoted towards you because they're about their thing, and that that's cool, but get the fuck out. But now that's changed,
too bad
right?
Here because it is like it's still California.
It's Cali, right? Yeah, so it can't be that bad. But well, I mean, I don't know, but I imagine
it's all right.
And
again, I'm not trying to hide myself here in my hometown or anything either. Like, it's just never something I feel like I can embrace or anything I can really like. Just like I have no incentive to, for really the most part, is in what it comes down to.
Well, it's interesting. Like, me, there's, if I were to box myself into categories, I'm attracted to women. To too many women, unfortunately. I'm very, very easily attracted. I'm getting old, actually, not as much as I used to be, but traditionally I was.
Porto just wants love.
Nah, I don't want that either.
No, Porto wants a good time.
Nah, but I don't know what I want. I'm just confused. But no, but traditionally, traditional, want to sleep with women guy. Which you would think in a country town, in a rural town, you'd think that's kind of like, well, you're one of the boys, or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, there's so many other things that go.
Brotherhood kind of mentality.
Well,
I've had to deal with a lot here.
Of course, right? And I never fit in the country towns because of just fundamentally who I am. It's not so much an identifiable thing, but it's that like just something as simple as I would watch a movie and then want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I would like discuss things that I've been feeling or things that I've been thinking about. And that...
How dare you?
Well, that in itself would be identified where everyone thought I was gay in my hometown. And, well, not everyone, but a lot of people who didn't know me that well, would always sort of call me these names and that. And
sorry I had to deal with that.
no, it's fine. It's fine. Like it's just whatever. I was a teenager and everyone has to deal with shit. But the thing is though that like the what I'm trying to get at is the idea of the norm is so rigid that there's even people who actually tick the boxes, but they don't tick it in the right color pen, or they don't like they tick it a little bit outside of the box, and it's like nah, that's weird shit too. And so I can totally understand that feeling of like maybe not being like a pariah or an outcast, but still just feeling like not it's not the conditions for thriving and being exactly how you want to be.
Yeah. And I do act and be how I want to be. Like it's no one's gonna ever keep me from that. But it's yeah, that's definitely something that Twitch has helped me.
Oh, that's
explore more. And
awesome.
I agree though. Just like I'm naturally just like a nonconformist. We were talking about this the other day while we were jamming on Magic. Just like it's just like I've been a nonconformist my entire life. Like I've even nonconformed with the other nonconformists. Like I said, like hanging out with the goth kids, and they're like, why don't you dress like us? I'm like, I'm not dressing like anyone. I'm
conformist.
Just like me. It's just like, come on, y'all, where the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's a terrible thing, isn't it? That's a really sorry to interrupt, but that's a really dark moment that will happen in some people's lives where they're like, I want to be free to do whatever I want to do, but then you come to like a cool city and it's like, oh no, I'm not free to do whatever I want to do. Now I have to do that cool thing.
More confined.
Yeah, god damn, I don't have enough tats. Fuck, I'm cooked. Sorry, continue.
No, that's why I've just like I've really stayed away from like the you move away, everything fixes it. Like I'm okay. I've rooted in my hometown.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like it's
really
fine. Cool. In fact, I've lived in a small town. You can kind of just in your own bubble a little more, but it's like, and I do love the area. It's fine. It's but it's like it's like how far is that nonconformist attitude gonna get you? Yeah. Is this like when do you kind of go like okay, I'll just go along with it and you wonder about that about the streams too a lot. You're like looking for like the games, you're looking for like the like just anything, like again kind of looking at other people like what's going on over here, like should I be doing this, like what's like staying inquisitive is good, but it's when you're so used to not giving in and you start wondering about like trying like a new game or something, you're just like you feel really like just conflicted all the time. At least I do.
I'm so confused about what to play on stream, and I've gotten to the point, I think we might have spoken about this the other night when we had a brief chat when we were playing Magic, that I don't subscribe to the play what you want to play. I don't subscribe to that. I actually think that's bullshit. I think you play what you want to play of the games that people will watch.
Yes.
There's another condition to that. You play what you want to play of the games that people will watch you play. And that's the perfect thing, you know? Like for example, I'm not going to play Phantasy Star. I'm not going to stream Phantasy Star. I want to play it.
OG Sega Mega Drive?
Yeah, I really want to play it.
Oh, yeah. You should play it.
Oh, well, this is why I'm doing my YouTube channel, because I'm going to do a Let's Play, because then it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's what's up. Okay.
It doesn't matter if I don't get if my viewer count plummets, because it's just there for anyone who wants to consume. It doesn't really hurt me as much, you know? Mm-hmm. But this is a great segue, Audax. I'm glad. I was thinking, how can I twist this into where we're going next? But you fucking just did it. The other day, you played a new game by the name of
Loop Hero. Yeah.
First of all, how was it?
It's pretty good. My brain likes it. It's the best way I've found to describe it is it's a reverse tower defense. Where the enemies aren't coming to you, your dude's running around on a path, and you build the enemy spawners, and you build the terrain that the hero loops through, and he passes go. And there's some like built card mechanics to it where you win a couple battles and then you get terrain to place and then you get equipment to cycle through. It's pretty addicting. There's an interesting story. The mechanics are kind of ingrained in the story about how the whole world is consumed in a void, and it's interesting. It's pretty good. I was
Mm.
enjoying it. Yeah, gotta give a shouts to Garrison, the one and only, holding it down.
Fuck yeah, Garrison.
He said,
Garrison
"Here's some new
Prime.
hotness." Garrison Prime,
Garrison
formerly
Prime.
Garrison Waifu,
Formerly
formerly
waifu.
Garrison Armory,
Oh damn.
the OG.
That's OG as fuck. I love it.
So he hit me with the magic that was Hades back in the day. So I was like, "Oh, Loop Hero, Garrison's got the hot tip. He's got the insight. Let's check it out."
Well,
So
Hades was a hit, so thank you, fucking Garrison, for that.
It was a 230 hours going strong hit.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
That's definitely not disappearing from the streams anytime soon. Hades is amazing.
So this is something.
So, but how are you finding the games? Like, what's the?
Oh. First of all, there is generally
like categories. Are you looking at?
Well, there's just types of games that I like to play. You know, like if I look at the games I play, they really fall into maybe 3 or 4 categories. There's RPGs. I like RPGs. And they can.
You'll do the range of RPGs. You'll do turn-based. You'll do action. You'll do computer RPGs. You'll do them all.
I do them all. I got to say, I've been having a bit of a rough time with JRPGs lately. I've fallen out of love with them a bit. Though Final Fantasy 13 has kind of revitalized that love for them. Because
I like all the Final Fantasy 13 love that's kind of come back in these later years. Like,
yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Because it's a bit of a revisionist review of it, because it was kind of shat on pretty hard when it came out.
It's the hallway simulator.
Yeah,
I still haven't played it myself, but like I'm super, as someone who's always kind of curious, now always hearing like these, like everyone's having fun with it. It's like, shit, I want to go back.
It is a hallway sim. It is a hallway sim, but once you let go, everything else is really fleshed out. You know, it's a pretty unique story. It's the lore's deep, and something I really like is that it's focused on. The focus is sort of geopolitical, as these Final Fantasy games tend to be in some way, with kingdoms or power structures at odds with other beliefs. You know how they go. It exists in that world, but bear in mind I've only played the first half of it, and will soon be replaying the first half of it on my PS3 to catch up, which is fine. But it's very personal. It's very much about how different characters deal with adversity, and you know,
character development.
It's really good. You know, you've got like and I won't spoil anything too hard, but first hour of the game spoilers, I guess. You know, you've got a character whose mother dies, this teenage boy, and he blames another one of the characters for the death because he can't deal with the grief. But the reality is, as we see, that like wasn't really that guy's fault. And then you've got that same character with another sort of the protagonist, who are both at odds over the way they want to deal with the loss of a character they both have love for. And one is like, fight, fuck everyone, be cold, don't let anyone in, do your own thing. And the other one's more like, save everyone, be the hero. And these sort of like, it's about these
two opposite reactions,
these different reactions to trauma and different reactions to loss, and how they conflict and what they learn from each other. And like, it's really quite an impressive narrative piece thus far.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I feel bad.
Sorry,
go ahead. Sorry.
It's just fun, you know. The combat's good. I still prefer slow draw. You know, I still like my pre-10 kind of combat.
ATB bars.
I kind of like that, but that's just me being a boomer. I've gotten used to the combat. The music's fucking incredible. It's a hallway simulator, but it's a great hallway to go down. Like,
are you feeling like, because there's the 2 sequels too, right? Like, I know nothing about the 13 for the most part, past the surface knowledge I've displayed here. Are you like feeling like, I want to see more of this, or like?
Apparently, the second one's better.
Oh, really?
A lot of people say the second one's even better. So Yeah, I might. Depending, like, it's possible that I might be like, fuck this. There might be some plot twist where I'm like, fuck this shit. But no, the way it's going, I would definitely entertain playing the sequel. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So that's nice to be pleasantly surprised by something like that. But as for, I play those kind of games. I play all sorts of RPGs. Survival horrors. Sounds like I'm promoting my channel right now. Hey guys that have just randomly sat into this podcast for an hour and a half and somehow don't know me. Hi, but I've got a channel. Platformers, Souls-like, which I know are RPGs, but kind of can slide into Metroidvanias as well.
They develop their own. Yeah.
They're sort of. A bit of both.
I am always tentative to drop Metroidvania in with Souls, but it's hard to argue. It's really hard to argue.
Well, what I think when I think Souls and Metroidvania, I think Hollow Knight.
That's the true blend of everything.
That's really it's like Super Metroid, Castlevania, Dark Souls together, basically. So, I tend to look for things that tantalize me in those ways. I watch a lot of the Switch Up channel for new Switch releases. I've also got there are some big AAA titles from the past that I know I'll hit eventually, but I don't want to expend all my energy, all my resources rather. For example, New Vegas, Oblivion.
Oh yeah.
These kind of things that I haven't played before. But I still find myself at a loss quite frequently as for what to do, and I'm quite reticent. I'm quite hesitant to try stuff out sometimes. If truth be told, I'm quite hesitant. How do you find new things?
Well, I disagree. I think you got to play what you want sometimes. You got to play what you want, or at least compile a list of things you want to play and then throw out a poll in your Discord or something. That's something I saw Dread was doing a lot, and I was just like, yeah, I need to maybe kind of see where people are at and let people feel like they've got a voice. Because I used to do Discord movie nights, and we used to do the poll for every movie. And I was like, why don't I just do that for the game? I
used to do that for games, but I stopped.
So why'd you stop?
They chose Half-Life, and Half-Life tanked. No one watched it, so I decided they didn't know what they wanted.
Damn. So that I've been kind of going though off of this last Discord poll. I gave them a batch of things that I either wanted to play or knew I was going to want to play eventually, and then they gave me an order of what things were voted in, and now I'm kind of using that as a roadmap. Yeah. To kind of for what I'm going to play. I'm going to play Final Fantasy 9 after Trials of Mana.
Dope.
I'm going to probably do the Souls level 1 right after. Well, because and then I'm kind of rearranging a little bit of the results because Dragon Quest 1 and 2 did beat the Soul level 1 Dark Souls 1 playthrough, but I'm probably going to do Soul level 1 after Final Fantasy 9. But they're still relatively in the place, and then I gotta get some Mega Man in there. I feel bad.
Which Mega Man you gonna play?
1 through 8 is the goal.
Oh, the fucking gauntlet.
So I want to do 7 on Super Nintendo as well, and PS1 8. But I have no experience past that is the thing. So it's I just want to. I've only beaten 1 through 3. I've beaten 7. Yeah. So those are the only ones I've actually beaten. So
I've only beaten 1 and 2.
Challenge to beat someone. 1's fucking still hard shit.
Man,
I always go back I'm gonna start this challenge for myself just in my own time, and 1 I'll get toward the end of 1 and I'll just be or the
Gutsman stage, the Gutsman stage of those platforms can fuck itself. Hey, oh my god, it just it goes from
Mega Man 2.
It goes from that to that in one frame. I swear to God, it's just there's no slow dropping of that thing. Yeah, great game though.
As long as you're committed to a half hour on get those platforms timing.
You know what's the best Mega Man 1 experience?
What's that?
Wily's Revenge on Game Boy.
Oh, really?
Wily's Revenge on Game Boy is fucking off the hook. It is one of my favorite.
Because the Game Boy Mega Man games are separate, right? They're different. They all have different robot masters and shit, right?
Well, I think after 3 they shifted it. No, in the second one I think in Wily's Revenge even they kind of did it a bit weird. So You have your
Yeah.
4 robot masters at the start. There's no more Guts Man. There's no more Bomb Man or whatever. They were kind of the lamer ones anyway.
Cut Man, cut them.
They got exactly.
From the
They
roster.
got the cut. They got zapped. So there's the 4. You start with Elect Man, Snowman. I nearly called him Iceman. Who just looks
To
like
be fair, he's just a little dude with a little.
he's a dude in a hoodie. Yeah. Cutman and one other.
Oh man.
Fireman, Heatman or Fireman.
They cut Bomb Man.
They cut Bomb Man.
Mohawk.
Yeah, they went into him. And
Punky is dead.
but then you get the boss rush of 2. It's like a remix of number 2 as well. You get a boss rush of them in the Wily Castle. So you get like Bubble Man and fucking Quick Man and Flash Man, and it's really good. It's really good. It's the pixel art on it is one of the best for an early Game Boy game. The platforming is tight. The screen is more compacted, obviously.
Yeah.
But that was my first Mega Man experience, and I still to this day love it. Great game.
Oh, if we're talking first Mega Man experiences, this is going to be an interesting one for people. And I've brought this up a couple times recently, so it's kind of funny. It's come up again. So my first Mega Man experience was Mega Man X6. Late in the
like
life
a PS3 game or something? When did that come out?
PS1 game.
Okay.
Late PS1 life cycle game. Not great in retrospect, but I had enough fun with it where I eventually explored the rest of the series and played some of the good ones. But 6 literally has a mechanic in it. Okay, so let's think about JRPGs and RPGs for a second. Don't missable items suck? Doesn't that shit just suck where you go, oh, there's that cool super weapon in disc 1 that I'm never gonna get now because I'm in disc 2.
Yes. I thought about it. Yes, they do suck.
You had to think longer than I thought you would.
Well, I guess like I was trying to think about like what kind of missable item. Like, I mean, it's terrible if it's like borderline essential to beat a boss or something like that. But I've always been a bit of my brother hates the way I play RPGs because I'm just like, yeah, off we go. You know, whatever, we're fine.
You gotta collect every Mega Elixir, goddamn.
And then never use them
until the final boss.
Never use them. But no, that does suck. Like, it sucks that you don't have the option to go back and get stuff, because sometimes even I do that.
Well, in Mega Man 6, they have a whole mechanic dedicated to imposing missable situations upon you, where there's like a Reploid you have to rescue, and then there's like this horrible data octopus-looking ghost, yellow fucking weird Reploid-looking thing, and he goes for and you have to race him to this NPC character.
Yep.
And if the thing gets on it and takes them away, you can never get that fucking thing ever again on your save file. Piss off. Yeah, you could have gotten a really good like upgrade part for Mega Man X's fucking turbo boots, but you were too slow.
Yeah, that's not cool. I don't like that.
And just some of the levels are like bland as shit. But it's you know, it's the third X game on PlayStation 1, so at least the buttons felt good at that point. And but yeah, I always feel bad mentioning X6 because it's generally not like the most enjoyed one. And then X7 came out after that, where it's just like, man, X needs to die.
I got a hot take for you. I got a real hot take.
Oh shit, do you like 7?
I prefer the original Mega Man series to the X series.
Oh, that's not too hot.
I feel like it's a bit... Oh, it's not like a sizzling take, but I feel like it's a little... Usually, most people I've spoken to tend towards the X series. They're good games. I'm not going to come out saying they're bad games. I've got the collection on Switch. I've finished the original Mega Man X, so that's a lie. I have finished another Mega Man game. I kind of like Mega Man in an 80s universe. I kind of like, because that's how I feel between Mega Man and Mega Man X.
The 90s attitude.
That's the 90s Mega Man. Yeah, I kind of like innocent 80s Mega Man a little more. Like, it's sort of a little, I don't know. It's like simpler, I guess.
Well, it's like the Mega Man you see on the Japanese box art versus like the weird, like humanoid, like hyper realistic Mega Mans that were on the American, where he's actually just holding a gun. And it's just like, what's going on here?
He's just a fucking killer from a sci-fi movie.
but in the Japanese, the happy little like anime, like dude, it's I don't know why they gotta do that to box art. Like they always gotta make Kirby like look mad as fuck. Like, are you aware of this? That on the Kirby box art, literally the only thing they change is like they give him the angry angled down eyes.
Well, because I think there was an impression of America as being more aggressive.
Yep.
Yeah. And then it appealed more to this like macho like boy. It was like this. That was in the time where like boys were considered gamers rather than anyone can be a gamer, but especially by game devs anyway. And and it was like, the appeal was this hilarious over like, if you look at all like the fantasy RPG covers for like designed for a Western market in the 80s, it's always just like this homoerotic
Dragon Quest art is
just fucking jacked up, oiled up fucking Tarzan looking.
There's a lot like Mega Drive art like that too, where it's just the 90s. They needed that 90s edge,
and it's cool, but it's pretty funny in hindsight.
That's goofy as fuck.
Ethics on Twitch. Ethics. And here's my first question. This is something that's been coming up for me a little bit, and it's been on my mind, and I haven't really made sense of it yet. So I wanted to ask you: Is there an ethical way to self-promote on Twitch?
Yeah. You read the rules and see if self-promotion is not horribly I don't know. Self-promote in people's discords where it's allowed to, where there's a section designed for it. If it's a buddy coming in excited about something that's going on, I'm excited for you that you're excited, but are people like what's the situation? What are the conditions here?
Well, it's just something that I'm a little bit confounded by because over the last year, I've gone from being thrilled to have anyone pop in for whatever reason to still being very, very, very happy that people are there. But now I've started to see patterns where, and this is kind of a tricky subject to talk about, but I've started to see patterns where there's a bit of a cynic in me who says, well, I know why you're here. And that's the good news is that any of the people that actually will watch this, it's not going to be about them anyway, because you know what I mean. It's a different group of people, and it doesn't matter who they are, but it's just it's a sort of practice that I've seen on Twitch of people just probably spamming a bunch of different chats, talking to some being a little more subtle, some being a little less subtle about how they want to talk about their channel. And I've just gotten a bit of a better radar where I'm like, you don't give a fuck about this channel. And I'm not going to like shit on them live because that's toxic and that's crap. But in my mind, I think about it and I'm like, yeah, that's great. Good. I'm glad you're having a good time and thanks for popping in. But then,
I mean, if you're not going to address it live, like, are you going to message them later? Like,
I have,
like you can address it.
I've had situations where people have asked for shout outs and I've not responded, and then I've DM'd them later saying that was like not cool, but I just
that's a great way to handle it.
Yeah, I definitely don't call people out in the fact. I do sometimes DM people after the fact. Not as like a prick, but more as as your friend, I would like you to know that, or like as an advisor to you, I'd like you to know that that's people aren't going to like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, asking for a shout out, that's not a good look.
Have you had that before?
I give them out pretty liberally.
No, me too. That's the thing. Me too. I give them out like.
So it's like, why would you ask for one? Like,
it's crazy.
Chances are you'll get one if you hang out and be chill. Yeah. Like.
I've had people ask for them, and then when I didn't give them, they didn't turn back up. Oops! Now I know what you were there for. But like,
exposed.
But here's the thing, though. At the same time, I don't want to be like, "How dare you do that?" Because I get it. It's hard. It's hard to get out there. It's hard to have people come to your channel. There's so many channels at once, and we want to grow, and we want people to. Even for the people who are really ambitious and want to make money, to the people who just want some people to hang out with while they play, there's still a desire to have people there. And so I respect and understand that feeling. However, the desire, absolutely. I'm not sure where's the line. And I guess that's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, well, the line is it's are they desperate about it? Yeah, are they interacting with do they give a shit about what you're doing in the moment? Like a simple like, "Hey, how's it going? How's the streams going?" Like that means miles and miles to me. Like that
Yeah.
you can talk about whatever you want if you just fucking treat me like a human instead of like a multi-purpose room. Like I I want like my whole goal is I really want to uplift other people
Of
and
course. Yeah.
make them believe that they can believe in themselves and like yeah, but there's a you got to read the room. You got to there's a tact there's levels of respect that need to be there too where it's just like I don't know sometimes like you could the streamer's face is right there. Like if I don't know, some people I feel like maybe can't pick up on social cues.
Mm,
Some people maybe they literally have no one else to talk to about the shit where it's like streaming to other people in their immediate lives maybe sounds like a dumb thing. So it's like
sure.
I will give a lot of people the benefit of the doubt, but if you're not going to talk to me like I'm a human, or if you're not going to at least interact with other members in chat other than trying to just like yeah, it's weird. I'm not a fan of like because I've been wrestling really bad where it's hard for me to just interact in chats where I'm
Yeah.
working so much where it's like you have the energy to fucking interact in a chat and you choose to do that. Like
Right.
that's kind of like I'm just like that's wasted like energy. Like it's if you want to think about your stream so much, go work on it. Go get out of this chat and go fucking work on it.
And look, I get it. Like when you're starting, like I would have done anything to just have someone like be
Mhm.
there and hang out. And I was lucky. My brother Fen would hang out while it was just him and I, and that's so cool.
Hell yeah.
And I'll always remember that. Uh, so I understand that feeling, and just like, oh, if only someone could come and see me, they'd see that I've got these qualities. And
But it displays like a degree of impatience. It's
yeah,
just like, why don't you raid me? You'll get your shout out then. Why don't
yeah,
you? Yeah, I
yeah.
don't know. It's just yeah, not a good look.
It's not for a lot of people. It's a slow process, isn't it? Going,
Mhm.
grow.
Well, that's the thing. Is it's like, do you even have the work ethic, or are you trying to look for these get rich quick schemes? Are you looking for these like shortcuts? It's just
Mm.
like if you build it, they will come. It's our streams are our field of dreams. It's our field of streams. Oh god.
Yes.
That's if you had podcast titles, that would the field of streams
Field
would
of
be the
Streams. Yeah, we're rebranding the whole thing starting now. Field of Streams. Let's go.
oh god. Uh uh so yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like I think people are oblivious to it's like I don't know. I've always been like a hang back and kind of like read people and read the situation type of thing before I ever like try to jump in.
Yeah,
And I just like I know there's other people that are more like leap before you look, and it's like that's good. We need people like that.
for
But
sure.
it's like, if it's in regards to cramming your fucking stream down everyone's throat and not realizing it's fucking with the mood of the room.
Yeah.
But that's again, that's why we have Discord servers. That's why we have the share your stream, promote yourself,
Mm.
whatever, channels in our Discord servers. And a lot of Discord servers will just welcome general talk about like, oh, I'm streaming issues, or I can't get my program figured out, or
Oh, totally, totally. Yeah.
it's something about there's the it's yeah, it's the live aspect is it's like changes it versus like the offline in a chat room that doesn't have another focus going on. It's kind of like when I was hosting the movie nights on Discord. It's just like, are you going to come in like people who came in and just talked about not the movie? It's just like,
Yeah.
okay, well, I'm really glad you had a great day or whatever, but we're all here in this chat literally chatting about the movie.
I've seen that.
Can you please just stop? And like you gotta ask, you just mentioned like if you're not gonna talk about the movie, it's just like you kind of fucking with the pace of chat and just everything, and it sucks though. It's like hands off moderation is always feels the best, but
Yeah.
it's you gotta keep your vibes right. You gotta vibe check people and yourself, and everything.
Oh, absolutely. But it's so tricky though, because at the same time, like, I don't want to be the guy that shuts people down from expressing themselves. Like, I don't want to be
Yeah.
that guy. That's not who I want to be. And there's a lot of lonely people out there, and there's a lot of people who, maybe they're not lonely every day, but they might be feeling lonely at that point, and they just are seeking someone to express something to. But because the immediacy of things like a Discord, sort of remove, there's like this distance from like I'm not going to walk into, I'm not going to knock on my neighbor's door, for example, and be like, hey, I'm going to tell you about my day. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Because that's weird, because I'm going to have to deal with the fact that they're going to be visibly like, hi, I'm we're the Johnson family, or and like, did you just move in? But that you don't have that online. Like, you don't, like, you get it from a streamer because you see their face, but you don't, there's a bunch of, it's not just the streamer, there's 5, 10, 20, 100, 10,000 people in chat, and you sort of, that anonymity can sometimes, I think, make it hard for people to realize, or hard for people to read the room. And so you see that all
and
the
then
time.
Again, it comes back to just not being treated like all we are is a room. It's like, we are a streamer putting our time out there in the world, and I encourage people in chats to help make the streamer more comfortable.
Yeah,
that's something that's good to do online.
Yep. But here's the thing, man.
Call me old-fashioned.
I fuck it up too, though. So, like, I got to be real. I'm over here on my ivory tower, but looking down at the ants beneath me, who are allegedly beneath me. But the fact is, they're not. Like, I do the same shit. I've so many times, usually when I'm like had a couple of drinks, or I'm a little, I don't know, just feeling weird, I'll type some shit and not intended a certain way, but not realize how it could be interpreted. And I think we've discussed this before, but I still, even knowing that, I still do it. And so, like, I think I'm a pretty socially aware person, and so I've realized, like, that shit's hard for everyone. And so, like, there's a degree of leeway. You've got a degree of the fucking word. Oh shit. A degree of benefit of the doubt you got to give people.
Yeah.
In those.
No,
instances.
I'm not the type of mind out there looking for people to like be like pulling a fast one on me. Like, that's not my natural outlook. So it's just it's just, I don't know, these people gotta have tact though. And it's just like people expect you a lot of the time to just be on board with their shit as a streamer. Like, it's just like, I don't know your inside jokes sometimes. I'm sorry. Like,
yeah.
I don't know why you're doing this, why you're promoting this, or it's just like, it's a lot of like, just like walking in the fog and hoping like someone like pats you on the back and doesn't just punch you in the kidneys. So it's like,
totally. It's fucking, it's completely wild, dude. But I think we've probably learned to roll with the punches.
Yes.
And some days it's easier than others. And let me be clear again, most days it's fucking awesome. Like,
hell yeah.
It's an awesome thing to do, and I love doing it. And if I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it. And I'm just fascinated by it because it's this new form of communication, and there's so much nuance to it. And hearing people like you talk about it helps me flesh out some of my own ideas. Let's end on a real positive note though. What's the
streaming hard, but it is the dream.
Fuck yeah, it is. Fuck yeah, streamers, get out there and do it. Just be subtle with your promotions. That's all. What is the best? What's your like favorite streaming moment of this year thus far? Might be a particular stream, might be a particular instance, any just thing, memory, something that you kind of have treasured from streaming in 2021.
I'm just having fun reading poetry on streams. I'm having a lot of fun reading my old weird cryptic poetry from 2014 to 2017. I get genuinely excited when there's a channel point redemption for that.
That's dope.
And like, and it's like got me thinking, like, that's inspired me. I've been thinking about this a lot. It's like, yeah, I used to do the events in Discord for movie night. But I want to do something new in Discord where I want to do like a poetry open mic. Because maybe other people have weird cryptic poems that they'd like have a chance. It's like, because people still can't gather out and about as much, so it's like,
that's dope.
Maybe I want to set something up where other people can read some weird cryptic poetry or freestyle or sing or play their instrument or
I love that.
Like, I'm really mulling this around. So it's if anything, reading the poetry's been really fun. I haven't played too many games this year. Like, I beat Final Fantasy VIII was the first one. There's one clip of me being real stupid with this crystal monster from Final Fantasy VIII that I'm proud of. And then Paper Mario was amazing. Yeah. So I played through Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, and that game was so good. I turned it my first playthrough into a 100% playthrough because I just wanted to keep playing it. Like, just playing like this highly rated like provoking game was just like really fucking good. I raged my mind out at Mario Kart Double Dash.
Oh, I saw that.
That was embarrassing, but also like necessary. And then I 120. I did 120 shines on Mario Sunshine. So I'm still having a lot of fun on stream with, like, you know, pushing myself to do challenges and just getting some goofy clips from time to time. Oh, so one thing amazing that happened recently is, okay, so there's a game called Helltaker. I haven't played this game on stream. It's a little indie game. It's a little puzzle game. It's got sharply dressed devil ladies in it. And there's one character named Justice, and she's a punch lady where she's got the gloves on. She's got the aviators. She's one of the demon women of hell. And so I was playing through Hades again. So just keep Justice in mind. This very wonderful character that's become my favorite character in this series, Helltaker. So I was playing Hades, and there's one of the gods, Poseidon. He screams out when you find him. He's like, "Liquid Justice!" and the idea of liquid justice is just horrifying. You don't want to put those two words next to each other typically.
Oh shit!
But I reformatted I had a dumb idea in my brain. And I was like, what if it's a liquid slime girl version of the character Justice? Maybe that's what he's talking about. Maybe that's what creepy Uncle Poseidon is talking about. So again, bringing up the god Garrison, he took this dumb idea from my brain and commissioned another wonderful streamer and artist, Hope the Princess. And he brings me this wonderful piece of fan art of Slime Girl Liquid Justice.
Oh wow, that's so
cool. Where this dumb idea of mine got to become this wonderful piece of artwork.
That's beautiful, man.
That meant a lot. Like, and Hope the Princess, again, coming back to her, she did fan art for me during the Thousand Year Door of Mario going insane doing the 100%. So to have like my very first fan art happen, like Garrison's done some spicy edits and photoshopping for me, but to have like an actual artist like take their time while they enjoyed my playthrough and translate these ideas and just like that's been really touching to me.
That's so moments. Cool, man. That's what it's all about, man. Shit like that.
Because inspiration and creativity, like that's always the key most important things to me, and as far as, you know, it's on the level with breathing as being creative is like it's very necessary. So to see that inspiration, that was big. So thank you to everybody.
Wow, that's shit like that is so cool because it sort of solidifies the idea that what you're doing matters more so than any money. Though money's good because it pays bills. And you know, you can buy, I don't know, socks and a hat.
It's okay to be warm and have your brain not get
food's
cooked.
good too. So this is all good. It's very
I've
good
chewed
stuff.
on things before. Yes.
I chew on things from time to time also. But things like that, like I had a somewhat similar experience. I had a pretty rough Dark Souls stream a couple of weeks ago. I'm trying to do less than 100 deaths in this playthrough, and
You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it,
dude. I think I am. I've got 4 bosses left. I'm at 81. The run is back, but it was in big fucking trouble for a while. Like I had this one stream where just the Fire Sage got me, and I was so just it was the first time in the run that I was just defeated. I'm like, well, you better get ready for the MS Paint art stream. Like, and I started talking about MS Paint, like, and just running my head back into this demon Fire Sage, and I wasn't even focused. I'm like, well, like, so I guess I don't know how. Like, I started talking about like the logistics of this MS Paint art stream. I was so dumb. Like, well, I need about 12 hours, I guess, if we do 30 minutes for each. And
so you're doing every boss from memory, right?
Every boss.
Oh god.
And well, that's a big if the stream happens, which tomorrow we'll find out. But
stay tuned.
By the time this has happened, by the time you see this, it's all ancient history. I hope you enjoyed the MS Paint art stream that never happened. Got him. But at the end of that stream, I was just like, I was so demoralized until I'm like, well, you know what, guys, I need to feel better about myself. I'm just gonna We'll
pick me up.
We'll just fire up MS Paint so I can figure it out. And I just fired it up and like got it all on the fly going. I'm like, well, we might as well just draw our hero. And so I drew Thick Body Bob Boy, and I drew Thick Body Bob Boy with a mouse and fucking,
You better put that on the screen at this point.
I will. But here's the best part, right? Here's the best part. Not only were people hanging out and like, oh, this is great, and people being very nice and flattering my artistic style, which I won't say it's skilled, but it is a reflection of my persona, I would say. Anyway,
a deeper look.
So Kiki Tofu, someone who's been hanging out in the channel for a couple of months now, I think, who is a digital artist basically and does work in game, like learning game development basically. She made this like using some kind of app that I don't know, using something, this like video using the face of Thick Body Bob Boy from the art, like singing What Is Love. And it was just in my Discord, and I just watched it and watched my boy be like, baby, don't hurt me, like watching this boy that I drew in MS Paint, and I was just like, man, no one asked her to do that. And that shit is like, that's when you know that you're reaching people and you're making connections with people, and that shit means the world. It was awesome.
Because it means that you left them still thinking about what you did. Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, I want to be a positive thing in people's minds and memories, and I want to, push out any negative thoughts if they're still thinking about our shit afterward. That's hopefully that's what it's helping do. But
fuck yeah, and that's the shit that keeps it worthwhile. That and the memes.
That and the camaraderie and the community.
It's a great journey, and I don't know. I felt this, and as we wrap this up, and we're gonna say goodbye in a minute.
Thank you so much for having me. Dude.
Oh, dude, thank you for coming, and just like, man, I love talking with you, dude. You're a great guy, and it's great to pick your brain and to just dump all of my ideas on you also, and see what you do.
Always a pleasure.
But streaming's great. Do it. Have fun with it. Don't set bad goals. What other advice do we have, Audax?
Work hard. Develop the work ethic. Believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself.
It's okay to be vulnerable.
Yes. Change. If you're going to do 2 things in one day and you don't want people to know that you're doing 2 things in one day, change shirt.
Slap on that shirt.
Wear a different shirt. You don't know what day this is. This could be yesterday. You don't know. All right, let's say
Time is not forgot my master.
Time passes so slowly, Audax. Dude, fuck, where can we find you, Audax?
Over on Twitch, AudaxSmoke. Over on Twitter. There's a slightly dead Instagram. Please check out my music, AECK. Over on SoundCloud, aeck.bandcamp.com. You can get almost 60 tracks for under $2. You can play my music on your streams. Have some fun listening to some laser sounds.
Fuck yeah, it's
Please
good.
enjoy the streams.
I got 2 of them. Baby.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for making it. And thank you for coming and joining me, Audax. Thank you for listening if you got through this far into this madness. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Much love.
Bye.